Puno is the seventh principle in Lapu-Lapu Vinyas Arnis. The word Puno describes the handle of something. This can be a stick, knife, hammer, brush, or anything with a handle. In Lapu-Lapu Vinyas, the Puno or root empty hand movement of Puno looks like an armbar. The armbar is quite common in most martial arts, so it will be a perfect example to explain what I want to say. This is not just for FMA, it's more for all traditional type martial arts as a reminder. Mostly in traditional martial arts we practice basic forms and drills. Those basic forms are most of the time out of context, but in the best case the beginner's form gives you an idea for what that specific technique should be used for. And it would be even better if you are learning step by step to get closer to the real context, which would be a fight. People can get frustrated or are impatient because they are missing the link between basic and fight. Very often they don't see or dismiss the use of basic forms. Which is understandable since the gap between the basic form and the fighting context is usually quite huge. The basic form has the purpose to improve your muscle memory. The idea is that with time and practice you can get to the point where the right impulse can trigger your movement and you execute it right away without thinking. So that happened while sparring with the boxer. I didn't intend or plan to execute an armbar against him, especially if we were not grappling, clinching or anything like that. In a clinch or ground fight the probability for an armbar is quite high, but I didn't imagine that it would trigger in this context. The entry or execution was not like in the basic forms. In basic forms you learn to move to a position where you have an advantage. Then you can engage and execute the armbar while flanking. But in this situation nothing like this happened. In this case, while in the process of exchanging strikes he accidentally gave me his side. So I didn't have to angle because he already gave me the position. And while missing the buntal and pulling it back, it just came that I hooked his arm with my armpit. And that was the moment where the muscle memory got triggered and made me move without thinking. I guess what I want to say is that through this unpredicted armbar you can see why there is a purpose to always keep practicing our basic forms. Even if you do it in a beginner level with a partner or even if you do it alone. There's a Shaolin proverb that says, "Practice like you are afraid to forget it, and while knowing that you will never master it." So I guess maybe there's more practicality in some old forms than we typically see through the lens of modern training methods. I don't say that we should have to practice every technique we come across that calls itself old or traditional. But we should never let ourselves be discouraged to try and find an application through continuous sparring and have fun while doing it.
It lives in how we put on the jacket, how we take off the jacket, how we treat people. Everything is kung fu.